We have Dannion Brinkley here. Can you all believe that? Wow. The Marines have landed. What's going on? I can't believe it.
Life is good.
Life is good.
Georgia is magnificent.
Right? Wow.
I'd forgotten how absolutely beautifully and wonderfully this world of intention that you have intentionally created, Tim.
Yes, it's all about intentions, isn't it? I tell you guys, we have a great show today. Yes, we have Dannion Brinkley here live. So start getting on YouTube and also on Facebook, I should say. And of course, you get on live speaker as well. Download our app anytime you want. And Danny, we're going to be talking about a little bit of his soldier life, as of course we're going to get into what it's like to die and then come back to life again. This gentleman sitting next to me, if you didn't know his story, but he was dead for almost 30 minutes. And that's a long time. Think about being dead for almost 30 minutes. I mean, 1 minute is a long time, right? I think if people drown, they have maybe a 30-second, 2-minute experience, but 30 minutes, he was not here in this plane for that period of time. So we'll be getting to that story a little bit as well, but we want to talk a little about Dannion and kind of who's the man, who's this man here, and what's he up to today in these days, and what does he want to accomplish here in life, in this lifetime around at least. So we have a lot to talk about. Also, I'm going to get into his formal experience, what he's done, and I want you all to hear this if you haven't already, if you don't know. And maybe some other books and movies he's working on too. We'll hear about that as well. Maybe.
I'm here.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right. One thing I want to mention, guys, if you haven't gone on the site, go to unitedintentions.org. And it's a place where if you're new to this, realizing that your thoughts create your reality, get online. It's free. We're a 501c. So you get online and you start creating, tracking, and manifesting your intentions. And if you're old school, if you've been doing this for a long time, get online anyway. If you have so many intentions out there, this is a great way to track them, and you could see them and put meaning to them behind it with videos and Pinterest.
Or to create family.
Or yes.
Because remember, if it's all about intentions and we have a synchronized intention, okay, that means that if you're an expert in it and how to direct intention, that when you come on at the same time with younger people who are trying to hold that place and that level of making a difference in the universe, and they come in and bring that power, that wit, that skill set, it only helps young people grow in this. So, I mean, it's only a smart thing to do. If you've been at this and you're trying to change consciousness in the way that you think is the right way for you, and you want to be a part of something, that's why I'm a part of United Intentions. That's why Catherine, my wife, is a part of United Intentions. It's why I'm sitting in this chair today, because I'm a supporter of United Intentions and what it's doing and how it's doing it, and being able to walk around in this world, Tim, be able to hear your story and to watch you and to see what you're really trying to do. And for me, as Dannion Brinkley, being able to see it, it is an utter, absolute joy to come here and to sit here at this moment, realizing that doing what you're trying to get people to look at and understand and make better choices, I think it's an absolutely fabulous idea for everybody who's ever been in the system of taking their voice and quietly making a difference in this new interconnected reality can achieve that by being a part of this program.
Isn't that just, thank you, Dan, that means a lot. And of course, that's why the man's on our board of directors, and Catherine is a beautiful wife as well, making a change in this world. So
we redid the bathroom. Come on, we pulled off some magic.
that was Dannion's first.
Everybody, this Disneyland has no chance against the world of Tim. Trust me.
That was his first prediction, that the bathrooms would be redone, and boy, it did not come true. I'll tell you what, in a short period of time. So, Dannion, so you ever miss? I know we were playing the Marines, and it's 4th of July, of course, probably one of your favorite holidays. You ever miss being, in the service? I mean, full time in the service and doing your thing?
No. Well, when you go back and you look, in that time period, Tim, the world was making its way from what were called, I guess, mercenaries into hired groups of people, okay, called contractors. Okay, so in the early years, before you had the organizations that became the contractors, ex-military, ex-skill set, specific skill sets. Okay, then there was we always existed. We were always there. We just didn't have a name that you could print on a check and get a contract sublet out to you for it. So if you look at it from my viewpoint in those days, okay, I was filled with patriotism and I was stemming the red tide and all that stuff. Okay, and then I just became aware of what it's really all about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and how it really, really works from looking at it and being in it. So when I don't miss it, is because, see, the games that people are playing and the stuff that people are falling for, okay, the things that people are falling for as we think the life we want is being achieved, and it's not.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, united intentions. Where would Catherine and I come, Tim, to a place if we were going to take who we were, what scale or whatever we do, and we were going to focus it in an area that we see potential for young people and for old people and for people just trying to find out what the real reality is in the world we're living right now, changing so fast in front of our very eyes, we can barely keep up with it, and we all have it in our palm of our hand. We hold the history of the worlds of the world, half the universe in the palm of our hands. That would mean that your intention in everything that you do as you move outward through the ethernets. You know, now we have microwave transmissions. Look at the camera setup. Look at, I mean, this kid, this wonderful, handsome, charming man right here.
Henry and Sean.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They can fix my voice where I might sound like I have good sense just by a computer program. I'm glad they're not using it, but this
We
is
can do
the
that.
united intention has to have a place that people find the comfort of coming and the honesty and integrity of what is happening. I promise you, everybody, the honesty and integrity of what I see happening, it's pretty wonderful.
I tell you, I sense that too. All around the world, I see this kind of awakening, and
Mhm.
you know, I can see how you don't miss the. I mean, you probably miss the camaraderie of the soldiers.
I
you
have
know,
that now with
yeah,
the Twilight Brigade. You
right.
never. I lived in a time, Sean, when you had a job. You know, I served in the Marine Corps, and then you became, you had to have something to do if you were an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that you lived off the rush of pulling it off. And we were easy. There were so many of us in those days from after the Vietnam issues. There were so many of us in those days that had to have something to do. And that was the birth of the contractors world. So
Yeah,
I lived in that.
yeah. So now it seems like war. We're more like an information war than we need really war. Is war even needed anymore? I mean, your opinion, is it really needed?
I think
and
there
maybe
should
it is.
be.
I don't know.
I think it should be thought unthinkable.
Yeah.
Okay, United States Marine Corps, and I'm a hospice volunteer, and I die with veterans. You know, the whole story of the legendary Dannion Brinkley comes down to this: there will come a time in your life when you will see your entire life pass before you in a 360-degree panorama. You will not have missed a thing. From the birth, from the first breath you took, you will have missed nothing. You will see every single thing. Then you will watch it from a second person point of view as if you were your own best friend. So you get a chance to see how funny you are, how crazy you are, you know. But that's the spiritual playfulness that is the divine energy. It's
Yeah.
We're playful.
Yeah.
We're loving and caring, and no matter what energy that we become as we interact in this plane, we start out there, okay? And then you will become every person. You become every person.
This is during your near-death experience. Well,
Yeah.
just when you die, you transition. Fine. This is what you
It's called
experience.
Panoramic Life Review, and I've been dead. So that's what you said. Well, let me
Yeah.
tell you what you learned from being dead, okay? Here's what you
A
learned.
few times.
Yeah, I'm an expert at it. Okay, I find the spiritual world so interesting that either one or two reasons. Either I somehow figure out how to kill myself every 10 to 15 years. You know, I do it stylishly, man. Get struck by lightning, open heart surgery, brain surgery, massive heart attack. I mean, it's like, it's like a running game between me and heaven, you know. And this is what people, Tim, don't see that side about me. You know, I have to be the dead guy and I have to fight for veterans' rights, and I have to build the Twilight Brigade, which is but my whole legacy. But it all would come down to just what I'm telling everybody right now. Hey, everybody, if you're going to be setting your intentions, let me give you a little insight on what happens when you let that last breath out. You're going to let that last breath out. You're going to lift up. This is what you're going to do. You'll be a little confused in the beginning because the first thing that hits you in a wave, is you're not that thing anymore. You're not that body. You're not it, okay? And it comes like a little breath. I'm free. Okay, so if you take a good look at that from a very sane physical point of view, that thing that you just got out of was a big bag of water. It was a water treatment plant. And you lived in it as a body, okay? And it was made of oxygen and hydrogen, okay? And how everything worked in it was based on, as long as you have 2 parts hydrogen and 1 part oxygen, that oxygen molecule, which makes up 76% of your body, is looking for another oxygen molecule to balance the 2 hydrogen molecules. And that means it's going to attach and associate and move and interact based on the nature of those 2 chemicals. It's going to interact in such a way to allow us to have a body that functions. It's all about water.
Right.
Okay? The carrier, all of that. Well, once you get out of it, who cares? You know, good riddance. You know, I never wanted to come back in it. You know, that was the stupidest thought. If you ever lift out of your body, right? Mine was struck by lightning and it was burning and it was on fire.
Yeah.
I couldn't move and I couldn't see, and my God, it was like battery acid, and there's nowhere I could go. Now I lift up. You know, I just lift up out of my body. There was no pain, but the funny parts was the no pain was the most important thing to me, but the funnier things is things like, remember this, Tim. When the lightning struck, it burnt my eyes so bad I had to wear welder's glasses for like a year. I mean, I couldn't have light in my eyes. And so when I was in my body, I couldn't see because of the ball of the fireball that came through the house burnt my eyes that I had to wear welder's glasses, but when I was out of my body, I could see. Okay, so
That's amazing.
well, it's when you've been at this for 40 years, and I've studied it, and I want to get back to my original point, everybody.
Yeah.
Once again, before I so rudely interrupted by Tim. Okay, this is gonna happen. When you take your last breath, you're gonna lift up out of your body. You're going to be a little lost in where you are because it's just you letting go of that bag of water and getting back to being you. And that's all the confusion. And then this series of energies come and surround and fill you, and they're called the tunnel or the bridge or the lake that people describe that they cross, but it's a representative barrier. Okay, and as that representative barrier, it means that you have separated from it. That'll happen. Okay, and then nothing happens. You know, you've moved down what's called a tunnel. You come into a place where you realize you're a whole lot smarter. And the funny thing that people forget is the only way you would get to this plane of existence, to have the joy of living this life, okay, and it's about intentions, and it's about the intention of building relationships with everything you come in contact with that you think is separate from you. basic rule of human interactive spiritual engaged reality. End story. Basic rule and system. Okay, so that means there would have to be a direct spiritual meaning to what you just went through. And you can add religion to it or not. You know, you can think what you want to think. It doesn't matter. I promise you, I will win this argument. You know?
Ba-boom.
Yeah, I mean, I got it. So the point is, when you see your life pass before you, that is the greatest teaching lesson that a person who's had a near-death experience can give you.
Let me ask you a question about that. So, most people in a lifetime change their personality. Doctors say maybe 5% if they're lucky, but their behavior could be completely different. So, of course, in your book, you talk about how you were such a bad dude back then before you had your first near-death experience. Not that
I didn't say I wasn't still a bad dude. I mean, wait a minute, you listen me up here, Tim. I mean, come on, man. I can make some faces and shit.
you're such a nice guy. I can't believe you're such a badass.
But you know what?
Yeah.
A skill set is a skill set.
Right.
And an adrenaline junkie, you can, literally talk them into just about anything. Okay? If you get to shoot something, it's like on it again. I can think of the stuff in the countries and the places and what I did, and you only did what was your job.
Yeah.
Okay, you did what you were told to do, and you didn't want to get in anybody else's business. And I just happened to have lived long enough to see the stuff that I contributed to, which most of it is horrible, but I contributed to it, trying to be an adrenaline junkie in a patriotic system fighting a war that I could see how useless it was. And it's,
well, what do you recommend to these soldiers now? I mean, who don't have the opportunity to see their life? I mean, thank God you're here to share and give them, future wisdom of this panorama view of your
well,
life.
if you'll let me.
Yeah. But what do you say to you? What do you have these soldiers? But on a serious note, these soldiers are coming back, especially from these wars, and their suicide rate. I can't tell me how many are killing themselves on a daily basis.
You gotta look at the average age is, 50.
Okay, but okay,
Probably 45 a day.
So 45 a day. But during the First War, Second War, even Vietnam, I mean, there was never this high numbers of suicide rates, was there?
No.
And so, what's different today? Why is this gone to the point where you have this epidemic, and it really is, Dannion, an epidemic of these kids and older gentlemen, as you're saying, maybe 50.
Older gentlemen? 50?
Well,
Jesus.
well, most soldiers are going in 18.
I mean, he rubs it in, I put on my best makeup, I fix my hair.
Listen,
and
for
here
49,
he is.
for 49, you're looking good.
He has come playing that hand. Okay,
All
so here's the piece of advice I
Yeah,
have.
good.
Remember, after you watch yourself from a second person point of view, you watch yourself from there, you will literally become every person that you've ever encountered, and you will feel the direct results of your interaction between you and that person. And at that point, what your intention was, not what you did, but the reason why you did it, becomes the most observable thing about your spiritual responsibility as you have lived in this plane, in the story, okay? And once you've realized that you were really doing it to yourself, and it's not like you doing it to yourself over there, but over here, the best way I can explain it, it's like you hit your own self in the face, you shot your own self, and that's how it works out when it happens. Okay, so once that happens and you feel every interaction, you have this place where it comes still. And my way is this, and this is the way I frame it as Dannion Brinkley. And people frame it, but it's still the same deal. If God could not come today, and that means everything that you believe is divine and everything that you believe really matters about showing courage in the face of where love should be in place, where love should be in place as opposed to war and anger. If methadone is free to junkies, why isn't chemotherapy free? Because junkies, methadone for people who are getting off of hard drugs because they have a disease. Well, why is it chemotherapy free for people who have cancer?
Mm.
Where is that psychology when you watch, when you interact with yourself? The saving grace is you're not really that person that you're watching. You're in a higher, more level, more understanding person.
Your higher self.
Yeah, you're there in that place. So the Dannion term, if God could not come today, and that means what I see to be divine, okay, how I personally see divine, and I just call it God. If God couldn't come today and God sent me, in the life I just reviewed, what difference did me and God make? Okay, so I came from a savage, brutal, tactical, merciless, destroying, insane son of a bitch. I will give you the maximum opportunity to die for whatever you believed in, and that was just your business. Okay? Didn't have anything to do with whether you were done or not. It just had to do with the time you had to think about that you weren't. That was the end of that story. To a person that if God couldn't come today and God sent me, in the life I had just reviewed, what difference did me and God make? I became a hospice volunteer. I'm at the same place and the same point, that point where one's leaving this world. I'm just not putting them there. I'm just helping them get across, okay? And I said what me and God could do based on what I saw was I could be a hospice volunteer. I could give courage and strength to these guys, and I could help them fight their last battle. I could help them fight it, and that was my intention. And in my setting my intention as I got good at it, because I know what's next. You know, you can't threaten me. You know, you couldn't threaten me before I found spirituality, because I'd just shoot your ass. You know, I would pick something else up and I would just knock you out. Okay, and you know, it's just that was the mindset that I operated in. I'll tell you a funny story. TM, one of my best friends, and he told me this not too long ago. He says, Dan, I used to remember when you would take a couple of punches and somewhere you had timed a guy, because I would see you throw the same 2 punches, and he said he'd seen it 75 or 80 times, that overhand left and right uppercut, and then I would turn, this is the truth, you know, I don't remember this, but he said you would turn around and walk away and they would still be standing. Okay? And I'm trying to think about, you know, that, because I remember I had 2 punches, and I remember that more times than you can imagine. No matter what you said, no matter what you were doing, no matter how much talking you were doing, your ass was knocked out. Okay? You know? So you can keep on.
Yeah.
You can just have your best time. Okay, but I'm still gonna knock you out. And so comfortable about it, I will knock you out, and I will turn around, and I will walk away, because 1001, 1002.
They drop. You walk away with a drop. That's a great story. You know, but that alone, you being, you know, that tough guy, and then you're still the tough guy, but yet you're the tough guy fighting for goodness more so, and not, and your intentions are more in line with your spiritual.
Well, how I
drive,
got it. Listen,
you know.
listen what you're saying, Tim. How did I get here?
Yeah.
I built one of the largest end-of-life care volunteer programs for dying veterans in American history. Okay, and
It's nationwide. It's all right. You have all in different states. And
yes, and I beat the federal government 10 years. I'm a hospice volunteer in the VA system for 32 years. I have 33,000 hours almost at the bedside. I've been with 2,010 veterans going from this world to the next world. and I've been with 346 taking their last breath. So I live among those who have fought with courage and honor, and I don't know how courageous I was. I think most of it I was stupid. But I took the money, came in the mail. I got to be a hero to myself, and I did a lot of really stupid stuff. But I did it very well. So,
Well, that kind of battling, this especially what we're going to lead into now, we're going to talk about when we get back from our first break. We're going to talk about the battle that is right now on healthcare and how some of your predictions you talked about way back when, how in the future the healthcare ground, this is the battlefield for us. And what does that mean?
today, and it's happening today.
It's happening today. All right, we'll be right back with the one and only Dannion Brinkley, author of Saved by the Light and many other books too, and movies. Eric Roberts played you. All right, I always like Eric Roberts.
So play me again.
All right, there you go. All right, we'll be right back with Dannion Brinkley.
He's matured enough and he's handsome enough, and I'll still look good as him.
Yeah, I know you will. Be right back. All right, we are back now with Dannion Brinkley, and we are talking about life and death and what it's like, your purpose here. And it doesn't matter really. I mean, honestly, what you're saying is it doesn't really matter really what you've done in your life, as long as you are you've realized what you've done and you're owning up to it, and now you want to change with your intentions of how you want to live your life. That's what's most important.
Your ass is dead. There ain't none of that. Hello, guess what? Okay, all right. So the point is this, everybody. Stop. Quit thinking crazy. Look at how many people had the near-death experience, and ask the question, what did they have a life review? Listen to that life review and watch their faces and their emotions as they tell it to you. And what you will see is someone who had this experience, who has a way you look at your life after you understand that you are a spiritual being. If you've ever had a near-death experience, you are a spiritual being. You know that. There's no question about it. Quantum science proves that's what you are today. Your energy and frequencies and vibrations and harmonics. You're not chemicals or you're not physical. You are energetic, proven science. Okay, so when you look at this and know that this is what's going to happen, because most people don't come back. There's some of us out there who came back, and the first 2 times they just sent me. Nobody asked me if I wanted to come back. They didn't come up and buy me a drink and say, hey, Dan, listen, we want you to go back down there when that body that we struck by lightning, we tore that sucker up really good because we needed to get your attention, you stupid oaf. Okay? And I always think, well, how important could I be? God had to call me on the telephone.
Literally on the phone when you got struck by lightning.
Right, so, and you come this far, and you had an intention, because I believed that there was 2 things I was supposed to do in the course of what I learned from it. Okay, so the method that a person can look at their life today is what I'm telling you. If God couldn't come today, or whatever you believe, if Mama wasn't there, what would you do? God couldn't come today and God sent you. In the life you just reviewed, what difference did you and God make? Okay, well, I went from destroying stuff to dying with veterans. And it's the perfect segue for me as a spiritually obsessive compulsive being to be doing exactly what I'm doing in the way that I'm doing it. If I had a near-death experience and I said how it changed me, and I said what I was supposed to do, and based on what I felt and thought, I am there today.
And and that just goes to show you too, that is never over until it's over. And you're one of those folks who realize that. But
that's why we need united intentions, and we need them to come and participate in the kind of concepts and attitudes and thoughts developed by them, and you given a voice that they can send that energy out there and set intentions for changing their life, just importantly for changing the lives of the people who are around them.
Yeah, and we're all kind of doing our fair share in our own way. The along with this near-death experience you had, you brought back the core psychic skill sets that most people, not all near-death experience people have. That is bring back psychic skill sets. You know, whether that's a curse or a blessing, I guess you could share
Well,
that.
I think it's a blessing disguised as a curse. If you have your relationship with the divine like I think they're fun, and so if you have a relationship with the divine like I have, okay, to me it's like some kind of game. Somebody, either they're playing it on me or I'm playing it on them, and so when I look at it from that point of view, I become more supportive.
Yeah.
I'm more supportive of the plan for the greater good than I am supportive for what personally benefits me. And that brings me the greatest satisfaction. That's how you know that the divine essence flows, exists, and how you pattern yourself to detect it. When you set an intention, the only intention you can ever really set is first to know you. Well, if you ever had a near-death experience and you ever had a panoramic life review, I guarantee you're gonna know you.
Sides of you never wanted to know.
And you're gonna see it all and exactly why you did it. Okay, but you're also gonna see the lesson. Some things you did that turned to be horrible for you, but it was the right thing to do. It was the right thing to do. You've worried about it all your life, and it was nothing. It was balanced out because your true intention was set. So the first thing that anybody needs to set their intention is to sit down and get to know themselves. Who are you? Who you are without knowing and believing you are a spiritual being. I will tell you who you are. Please forgive me for just being myself on this Friday evening, everybody. Okay, I'll tell you who you are. You are a composition of what you look at in the mirror, and you think about what everybody you know who likes you likes about you. And you mold yourself into being liked by them, and what you see in the mirror, believing that's you, created by what you hope to project that other people care, appreciate, and love you. That's who you become. You are not that person in the mirror. That is not you. You're much funnier than that person in the mirror. And your heart is more pure and your thoughts are more powerful. And if you set the first intention to know you, you empower yourself, and you don't have to have a near-death experience. Or when you come to realize I was right and Tim and I were right today, it's going to be too late. So at that point, my part's done and my job is done. And set your intention today to, I really mean this, set your intention today to become a part of United Intentions. Let's do something, everybody. Let's pull together and take a part of our hearts and pull it apart and put it in this little mixture and just turn Tim loose. Let's see what he starts. Because I can watch him and appreciate him and see him doing things that astound me. He keeps saying, I'm amazing. No, he's amazing. This crew here is amazing. They're creating in a beautiful, beautiful place in the world. Let's take that intention and become a part of this program. And please ask 3 or 4 more of your friends to come and give us your energy, give us your heart, give us your power and your spiritual strength to evolve a network that makes a difference.
Yes, and thank you, Dan, and of course us together making a difference, and that's the whole point of United Intentions. But I want to ask you, about your predictions here, because I know they people.
No.
Okay.
They were boxes of knowledge.
Boxes of knowledge.
That became predictions.
Okay. And but not many people have a second chance at life, which you've had second, third, fourth, whatever it may be. But you come along with this boxes of information. And I just find it astounding some of the things you talk about. But can you focus on the one that talks about how, because we're in it right now, and this is what I think people need to wake up to, is our battle, our awakening, let's say our awakening, a consciousness awakening, is on the battle of healthcare.
Before our very eyes next week. Remember, everybody, let's say we needed an alert. They have to overthrow affordable health care.
Yeah.
This has to happen before there is a federal budget, September the 30th. Okay? And the Republicans will have to have achieved one of those three places. Okay? And it ain't gonna happen. So when you think about that, the battle for the souls of humankind, which was the Western world in the boxes of knowledge, would be fought in health care. In 2010, when the Affordable Health Care Act went to the Supreme Court, I knew that what I was told to do 40 years ago, that battle, I had seen it, and it was 2010. That battle, I had seen it, and so I went into my conscious mode of achieving the goal that I believe I was sent back to do. And I found United Intentions, and I see this as a way to give people skill sets. Listen, don't fool yourself. You don't outsmart the system by which you face yourself. And most of you are really good people. This is the best part. I had the worst first near-death experience you could possibly imagine. How many times I shot myself, how many times I hit myself, how many times I blew myself up. I mean, God, come on. To find my way quietly where I can look at the illusion that we all live under without not first thinking we are a spiritual being. And that's who we are, a great, powerful, and mighty spiritual being with dignity, direction, and purpose.
Mm.
No one will ever prove me wrong in a straight up conversation. Because like you said, I can read minds.
Oh yeah. Well, and you.
We had a party. We had a party. Wasn't it fun?
Yeah, it was great.
We had a party at Tim's. Everybody setting up a party for United Intentions, and it was Tim being Tim. And so we all set an attention about helping each other, and I think we read everybody's mind in the joint.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you download people quickly by you kind of give them a hug, or how do you download people?
What you do is you know that if you're an electronic being, you're an energetic being, and that's what you are. Then if you move within 8 or 10 inches of them, you are in their field. They are radiating outward, and people say, well, how can that be? Well, think of this. If you have an electrical cable running somewhere and you want to know how much current is passing through that electrical cable, do you touch it? No. You put a Gauss meter over it. The Gauss meter measures the field of energy that's extending from it. You know, it's an inch and a half away from it, and it's measuring the energy it's putting out. So when you move into a person's field and your intention is to be of service, you move into that field, you clear, and then you seek to be of service, because it means you have a chance in life when it's never about you, and you cannot make it about you, and you get a chance to help someone. Well, I always say fight their last battle, but you get a chance to move into a spiritual place of being of service to a human being, and giving them a way to find closure in their life, and giving them a way to find value about what they're doing in a way that those who have served and defended this country know that that system is as perfect as I believe that I can make it, and that I can look at it from going through struck by lightning. It took me 2 years to learn to walk and feed myself. Okay, and then open heart surgery, that was a year, and my God. Then brain surgery, okay, and recapturing my mind and having near-death experiences. Why? I don't seem to get it. You know? Or maybe, hey, all you can do is kill me. You know, that doesn't scare me. Okay, so,
No, I tell you that Dannion, where you're coming from right now, and it seems like everything's coming to a point right now in your life right now. I mean,
as perfect as I could ever. And it's amazing, Tim, because I mean, it means I personally would see a 9-year project that I have laid it out almost perfectly.
right.
I mean, that's for me, and my obsessive compulsive self, who thinks nothing is ever perfect.
I mean, it must be pretty exciting and scary at the same time, or like, wow, it's like the dream finally coming true for you with what you're
I
doing.
get the shot. Okay. Listen, I'm still two things. That legendary overhand left and that right uppercut. It's just now in strategy. Hey, look, it's just now in strategy and timing. You wait. You take a couple. Give them just enough confidence till you study to watch how their right shoulder shifts when they roll to throw a punch. A right-hander does different from a left-hander, and you watch. And when I could see that punch coming, okay, I'm left-handed, not right-handed, and you think I'm right-handed, and I'm waiting for you, okay? And as soon as I watch that go, I roll back. I know it just barely missed me, and then I will knock them unconscious. Okay, so it's the same way now. The world is in turmoil. The Affordable Health Care Act was bad. This thing they're putting forward now is worse. Okay? And there's no way that honest congressman and honest and integrity can look at these bills and exempt themselves from it and force it on us that it's the right thing to do. This is insane. So, what do? We take tactical maneuvers to achieve the goal of that a person that's on their way home, that's going from this world to the next world, and they have served this country, and they've done what they thought to give these people the power to be as disruptive and uncaring and unconscionable about what we're watching in healthcare and how we're dealing with the VA. Although I will give President Trump, I tip my hat. He signed the bill 9 days ago. It is excellent. It is excellently written, the Veterans Protection Act, by being able to force. He is engaging the union. He's engaging the federal union. I mean, come on. If you go to work there and you can hide for 3 years and you shoot the superintendent, they can't fire you. They just give you another job somewhere, shuffling paper.
That's not right.
No, but you know what, Tim, I make fun of it because I've been fighting them for 40 years. I've been in the VA for 32 years. I mean, I've been in the system watching it.
Now's the time for authentic legislation to make a difference, especially for our veterans. And we'll
Start there.
Yeah, because they are the largest healthcare group in the country.
They're the largest, and they should be the most innovative. And many of the veterans' hospitals are connected to universities. The system as it is structured can work. It's just got the power of set the intention that it's not about you or your stupid job. It's about a place that you can walk in, that you're creating sanctuary, and that be recognized and represented in such a way. And I don't know all the ways. I don't, but I know what does not work. I can look at the programs and watch them for 32 years and been dead myself and know that crap ain't gonna happen. And you're putting people through this stuff that is insane without becoming knowledgeable and becoming a part of a united force to push health care and to push insurance companies and pharmaceutical companies to push them in a place to add a little spirituality,
Yeah.
to add a little care and concern, and make it
Be
a
preventative.
legitimate
Yeah.
prevention, and make it a legitimate scope that a person can go down. I'm personally as palliative and end of life. I design everything about when you get to me, everybody,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a lot of fun, you know, because I don't believe anybody dies. I think it's a stupid thought. Okay, so when you want to talk to me about dying, I'm the most fun you'll ever have, because I will tell you the argument. You will lose and I will always win. Nobody dies. It will not happen. And I'd like to say that I've become a better person because I have a wife named Catherine who had her first grandchild this morning
Ooh.
at 3:50. So
Wow.
a shout out to my magnificent wife, to Evan and Ashley and Allie. I don't know Adeline is her name, Adeline Elizabeth, but they had a little nickname there.
All right.
And I had to leave to get here, so I love you guys. And Evan, I'm proud of you, and Catherine, you inspire me every day, and Ashley and the whole family. We have a new generation.
There you go. And I tell you what, it's take these new generations to really make a change in this world for the better, and that's what we're going to hope for with the intention behind
Okay,
it.
so everybody, stop and take a deep breath and send Adeline love
There you go.
and
United intention.
joy, and take that united intention and send that little baby everything, and send mom and dad that energy.
There you go.
Thanks, everybody.
And so that is. Well, no one dies, but the show does end, and we got coming to a close here. But Daniel, one last question for you. Anything on your bucket list right now that you really want to kind of, bring into reality at this point for yourself?
Well, you keep it on schedule.
Keep it on schedule. All right.
No,
So it's all there. It's all there. Just gotta stay on schedule.
You keep it on schedule. You know it's going to unfold, and what those things that became prophecies, they're really good. If I look at them when I wrote them in the original, then these are the originals.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's a little hairy, scary, but this is when it was originally put down in 1976. This stuff from 1976. Okay, and so I thought it was. Well, for the first 2 or 3 years, I didn't know what it was, and I can tell you, I didn't care. Okay, but these became the markers. Like I knew the battle for the selfish humankind would be fought. Then there was Chernobyl. Then there was Fukushima. Then there was the collapse of the Soviet Union. Now here we are in Israel and in Syria. Well, I wrote all that stuff in 1976. So it was a pattern of probable possibilities of unfoldment that I would witness and be a part of and see based on when I came back to this side, and they became the prophecies, okay? But if a person looks and sees right now, and I did a good job, I'm about 94, 95%, I missed some timing, and there's some things that I thought would happen in a certain sequence that didn't happen, so either it got stopped or we, with united intentions, made a difference. And we began to look at it and send energy toward it, not just think about it, form opinion, get happy or get mad, make a damn difference in it. And so that's been my guideline. So yes, if you read it and it's in chapter 5 in Saved by the Light, that's the schedule I'm on, and I'm dancing hard and fast.
You sure are.
Come to the party.
Come get some.
Hoorah. Simplify.
Daniel, listen, it's a pleasure having you back here in Georgia, and of course seeing you again. And everybody, thank you guys for sitting in and watching and listening, and you have a lot more coming up too. Today is Friday, right? Thank God it's Friday. So we're going to be busy this weekend. I know that, Daniel. But guys, thank you very much. We have a lot coming up. We have the Ruiz brothers coming, Don Ruiz's sons coming in the next week or two, and we have a couple of big
They're
events.
wonderful.
All right, good. All right.
Oh, Jose
Yeah.
and Mike Jr.
Yeah,
Mike
yeah. Maybe we should be here or call in or something. We're looking forward to that.
Oh, I would just love it.
All right, okay.
Oh, please, I would just love it.
All right, okay, great.
And I can make fun of them and it'll be great.
All right.
Thanks again,
No,
everybody.
thank you guys. Take care.
Join United Intentions.
.org. See you there. See you on the site. I'll friend you. Bye.